So a thought's been rattling around in my head today, and I kind of wanted to go on a little tirade about it. Um, and that's the whole idea of uh, how we kind of have a bit of a pattern, I guess, for let's get a little ham here. Let's see what he turns into. Or he's leave. The whole concept of sequels. Um, and where I'm coming from with this is fuck. Where do I begin here? Coherent thoughts, that's a cool place to start. So I think there's something to be said for uh, the first iteration of any kind of franchise, you know? And I think, however, the audience responds to that first iteration of any particular game franchise will then dictate what the development team will zero in on and focus on in the future. And that's a pretty obvious fucking statement, so allow me to follow up on it. I've been calling Fusion one of the best Metroid games ever, and I've cited the fact that it actually creates a good sense of dread and isolation. It creates a very meaningful and villain that you're not only interested in, but you're also terrified of. You know, and that's a hard fucking achievement in its own right. Ow, fucker! I didn't know they could hurt you if they're gonna morph. And I've always kind of thought that like the whole perceived issue of linearity, kind of a non-issue to me because most adventure games end up kind of becoming linear, provided they aren't procedurally generated, and that's a buzzword these days. I don't like to hear that word. But I think there's something else to that as well. I think this game is good because it was allowed to be unique, you know? Yes, power bombs. I think because it was the first GBA Metroid game, it was the perceived, it was the anticipated, I guess, is a better word. Oh, wait. There's, it was the fourth game in the franchise, the canonical continuation where Prime was just a spin-off. That's too far. It was allowed to be unique. You know, it was allowed to take liberties. And that gave it the chance to do all the things that ended up being extremely fascinating about it. And then, like I said, when a development team looks at the the criticism of the oh shit. I think it's already morphed, isn't it? So how do I get out of here? Well, I've already forgotten how to do this. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I need to go a different. Oh, I got the ice missiles. I thought I got the power bombs. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot. I don't remember fucking anything about this game. I was sitting here thinking, man, it sure would be nice to have the ice crystals or ice missiles right now, but I guess it's just the power bombs. So let's go back and try this room here. Anyway, so you have to turn into something. Yeah, there you go. That's a better. I like that one. What do you turn into? No. Perfect. Look at that. So I think what I'm gonna say here is pretty fucking controversial. But I don't believe the player base always has the best I don't think it knows best. Yeah, I know you're a fucking mimic. And you know, that's not to like poo-poo on the audience, but it's kind of a subconscious thing I'm thinking of here. It's not an active thing that anyone is like calling out for, that kind of nonsense. And what I mean here is, I've noticed a trend, particularly in like pixel artists, where there's just a little too much detail for their media. And you know, if you're a pixel artist, and again, I'm not trying to fucking shit on your work or what you do. I think you're more of an artist than I fucking am. But there is definitely, to me, a necessity when you're working with pixel art to kind of allow degrees of ambiguity. You know, and I'll give you some examples, like this fucking guy, these bloopy boys here. Let's just watch him. He's a piece of art. He's a sprite. He's got animations. If we shoot at him, he flashes. He makes noise. He does a little goop thing at the back. But really, what is he? Are those eyes? Are those eye stalks? Are those just more hoses? Does he have teeth there? Does he have feet? Are those tentacles? What are those? You know? And that's kind of like, I feel like that's almost lost in particularly modern iterations of pixel games now. We're like, oh, what do you even call this at this point? Because there's two real. There's 2D art. There's like 8-bit and 16-bit, and I guess a little bit of 32. And then you get into low poly, which is 32 and 64-bit shit. But I think that when you're working with that, you need to acknowledge that there is, in fact, a need to leave details out, because that's really what the intent of the developers had, or not the intent of the developers, but it's more realistic to their work environment when they were making their art. You know, it's like, believe me, if they had had all the time in the world and all the fucking space in the world, I'm sure they would have had there goes Nightmare. I'm sure they would have had a much greater range of detail, you know, and a much greater range of quality of their work, you know, but obviously that's never going to be the case, and there's always going to be some corners cut, so, you know, sometimes you get backgrounds that are repetitive, sometimes you get um, sprites that are a little plain. It's just that kind of thing. Uh-oh. Fuck off. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, art. So, I believe that pixel art particularly needs a degree of ambiguity or like low qualityness. Just like, not every single pixel has to be perfectly, you know, crystal clear and shit. You know, like, God, I wonder if you could put the fucking TF2 administrator's voice into this. That'd be funny. Don't let the fire hit you. That would be bad. And it's something I've noticed. It's not just the art either. When fans make things, fuck, they have a lot more time than development teams, and they're not on a crunch. And, you know, yeah, sometimes they're like, there's a lot fewer people working on something. But again, I feel like there's a lot less constraints. And, you know, it's a lot easier to say as a fan, oh, I wish they would put this function and that function, like the wall jumping, you know? Like, a lot of people wish that you could wall jump in Metroid Fusion, but that didn't make the cut, and, you know, honestly, it really didn't probably affect the game that badly. Back what we were discussing about fan revisions and, like, what fans would like to see out of games, you know, that kind of thing. The big one I want to talk about is AM2R. If you remember that whole big fucking controversy. If you don't remember what this was a remake of Metroid 2 that was lovingly created. I mean, absolutely fucking handcrafted perfection of a fan Metroid game. It was flabbergasting how beautiful it was. And then it got a DMCA, by Nintendo, because it was a Nintendo game and they're really going after everyone at this point. This was when MU Paradise also got hit with a cease and desist. Let's see if these guys turn into anything. Oh, just more $5. Okay. So they were really cracking down hard on all these fucking emulators, and I think they were going after the Switch emulator at the time, which was what? I don't remember the name. It was very early. Shinjuku or something like that. Something to that effect. I don't like the fire. Ooh. I don't like this room. I don't like this room. I don't like hit scans. Or not hit scans, I don't like stun locks. So AM2R is declared like just a masterpiece, then it gets taken down by Nintendo, and then they released this kind of shoddy, their remake of Metroid 2. And that was the whole controversy at that time. far as I know, you can still go and download this, by the way, if you actually want to go play. Just it's another Metroid 2 remake, or AM2R is what it's abbreviated as. I intend to play it one day, but it's been on my list for a while. But it's kind of the poster boy of an example of when you create in a vacuum that's not touched by corporate development teams or publishers or any of that nonsense. What really you can put into the game. And sometimes I think more is less, and I think less can be more. Streets of Foot. Oh, do I need to use you? Or do I need to make you die? Oh, I can just hop up. Okay. Because they threw a whole heaping ton of features that weren't in the original game. And, oh no. Oh no. I don't remember this part, honestly. I mean, I probably have enough health to just walk through all this lava field. Oh, I just fucked up anyway. That's funny. And so one of the big things... this is a fun room. One of the big things that stood out to me was the whole scan function in AM2R was basically lifted wholesale from Prime. You know, and they did some really beautiful work with the they included like little fuck. I'm having trouble with words tonight, I'm sorry. They included really nice entries on every little thing, you know, you could just go through and really explore and get immersed in the whole place. And they took some artistic liberties too and changed things around to kind of make it almost a unique game. You know, God is my witness. I don't remember where we're going after this. Is this? I think we're going up. We're about to, no, we're not doing the power outage section next, are we? I don't think we are. Gotta go up still. And to get back to pixel artists, the thing I notice a lot of them do is they just try and cram so much detail into these things when can I just leave? I think I just leave, right? Yeah, I can just leave. Okay, never mind. I thought I had to go back up and around. They try and cram so much detail. Like every square has to have a little like extra blades of grass or flowers in them. If it's like a piece of lawn or something, or every bush has to have dew on the leaves. You know, and I think the one I noticed most egregiously was when corners get rounded. You know, and I'm just gonna walk. Fuck it. Walked 15 miles through lava to get these missile tank upgrades when I was a kid. 15 miles. Rounded corners, especially in like GB or Game Boy Color, Game Gear era, when you know like everything was squares because that was how they made things. You know, it was all blocks and squares. That's how it was assembled into the game's code. Um, and it was also for like, God, it's fucking sucking speed boosts. Um, it was to clearly kind of communicate to the player, where your boundaries were, where your where things uh, would interact or would not interact, that kind of shit. Um, and when you get around to corners, you can get a little ambiguity and all that kind of nonsense. Um, I don't remember what to do here. Was that just the space jump I saw? Oh wait, there's a thing, isn't there? Yeah, there it is. Okay. I remember this now. I remember everything. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good. Oh, we never went through that. Oh, fuck it. We don't need to go through that door. Nothing over that door matters. Oh, I could have just speed boosted across. God damn it. Oh well. I have enough energy to walk. We don't need to use the speed boost, honey. We have legs. We're gonna walk through the lava. It's good exercise for you. You'll love it. It'll build character. Um, and so I feel like there's like you get devs, and again I think I've said this like 8 fucking times now. I'm kind of circling the drain. Just bear with me here. We're almost through it. You get devs who look at all the things the fans can do, all the things the fans want. They want more details, they want more features, they want stuff pulled from other games, um, and then they try and serve that need. They want to fulfill those desires of their fan base. Give them what they want, and then I think they really begin to miss the things that made those games good in the first place, the things that made them unique in the first place. And I'll give you another example: Dark Souls 3. I've got it. I have not sat down and played it yet. I've seen enough footage though where it feels very, very fan servicey to me, and it feels fan servicey to me because of the no other reason than they pulled a whole bunch of stuff straight from the first Dark Souls and plopped it in because the fans asked for it. Because the fans wanted more lore, because the fans wanted some recurring characters. Um, and it feels to me more hollow than Bloodborne or the first Dark Souls or the first Demon Souls. And those games were good because they had unique things. And I think where I'm going with all of this, I'm like just making a whole fucking list of things that I think game devs should like focus on when I'm not actually a game dev. Um, is not to worry about the sequels. Don't try and please the fans. Um, I think every game is going to be unique in its experience, regardless of if you try and do that or not. So I would rather say stick to your guns, stick to your creative intent. Yeah. And you know what? If you want to just throw in Smarty Blartfest, the goat fucker, if you want him to be a recurring character, yeah, sure, fuck it, yeah. But don't do it because a whole bunch of people asked you, because there's a Tumblr for Slarty Bartfest slash fic, whatever. Like, he's the fucking Tumblr sexy man. You really want them boondoggles. Um, I think it's better to stick to that because the game is going to live and it's going to breathe. And like I know enough about creation to know that you're going to end up hating large chunks of your projects. regardless if it's a piece of art, if it's a game, or a piece of music. There's going to be parts of it you hate. There's going to be parts of it that you're going to have to live with. Um, and there's going to be things about it that people will love, people will eat up, people will demand more of that you have absolutely no idea why. Because it's a unique thing. It's going to become its own thing. Um, and again, I think that's why Metroid Fusion works so well. It's not because it was the game I started out with. It's not because it's just a spooky game. I think it lives and breathes its own unique experience to the Metroid franchise. Even though it is a sequel, I know it's like the fourth fucking game. They were like doing well, we can't do this again, so we've got to do something else, and they did something else, and I think it really worked. Um, but don't try to do the sequel because for the sequel's sake, If you want to make another game in the franchise, make it its own thing. Like, can't believe I'm gonna fucking say this, but fucking Five Nights at Freddy's, if you remember, if you were existing the goddamn yesteryear of 2013, 11 years ago, holy shit. One of the praises that the original FNAFs got were each one of them had a wholly unique playstyle. Within a degree, it was still mechanically, they were all about functionally the same, but thematically, they were all pretty unique to one another. And I always appreciated that because the developer was always trying something different. Was always trying to grab something different. God help him if you could see what it turned into 10 years ago, that he'd have his own garbage ass movie. It may be, I don't even know if it's good or not. Shit. It looks terrible to me. Alright, the X mimicked the crew